Hey, let's go. And as you just noticed, I just resurrected Nightbot. I just figured it out. Whoo, man. If I'm sweating, this is I've been pacing around in circles, and there's a little the little head sweat circle of my little 1-year-old. So, whoo, we're starting to stream a little bit late, but we're starting off with a bang. And if I do have to leave randomly, you're going to see the stream starting soon thing again, and then I'll come back. I will come back, I promise. And I did, and my neck also is a little bit, I can't move, so if I talk like a little robot, there's that. But I do have my water. So we're good, baby. And I have a huge announcement. Hydration check, passed, done. Empty cup here. I am your father. My favorite cup. And my big old water vessel. So I have a huge announcement. Never before said. Not even some of my team members know about this announcement. So that's a huge situation. I have some more logo situations, but I'm gonna give it one more week. And we have the new logo coming in and the new cover of DC20 for the book. Lots of things coming. So anyway, and the Warlock just got finished today. The Warlock class is finished. I'll be releasing the Warlock. So Metallic Dragon patrons will get it tomorrow before the patron-only live stream, and then it's now going to be part of the 0.6 document. The Druid's officially done. Lots of stuff. So all we're waiting on. In fact, I'll even show a little showcase right now. Cover. Oh yeah, just wait. Joe M. with a late fee. Appreciate it, Joe. I have to pay a late fee. Shoot, I was late, man. Bard's the last one. Galaxy Fox Night Sky. Bard's the last one, and then that will be ready to go. Also, yeah, like y'all saw, Nightbot is revived, so we will be doing. I think we're up to 3 giveaways baseline. Because Nightbot was missing, and then we have the one from tonight. So we have three giveaways to do at the end of the night, no matter what live stream goals we hit, and we'll keep rocking and rolling from there. So yeah, I can't even. Y'all are all chit chatting in the chat before I was able to even get here. And Peter with a super chat from way back before. The one shot was great. The one shot just released of the YouTuber playtest we did. It was a new playtest, new scenario. I'm getting better at writing one shots for videos, right? The other one was probably more of a in-person one or a 2-shot probably, but anyway. And then I can't wait for campaign for 0.6 update. I'll even showcase right now for you guys. Luna Fund. Oh, Luna Fund. Appreciate that. Enjoy the stream. DC20 heart. Oh, let's go. Peter, you always start off the stream with a bang with that super chat, bro. I appreciate you, dude. Appreciate you. Larry, Aqua, Gordon, Zouch, Digital Hero, King Hodop, Mortal, Grand Old Dwarf, Galaxy, Liam, King, Power Hungry, Almure. That's my shot at this time. David, Robin, Arcane Cypher, Mini Warlord, Trothgard, Glenn, Crocodile, Dennis, Louise, Wolves is here. Oh, thank you. We will be doing a Q&A this time. I'm doing a little welcome, doing a big, huge, massive announcement. Actually, showcasing where the 0.6 is at right now. Then a big announcement, then Q&A. So we have a freaking big night, y'all. Big night. And then 2 drink minimum stream, pretty much. Orman, what's up? Finally able to make a live stream. Let's go. And I'm doing live. If y'all didn't know, I'm doing live streams every Friday at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. We had like 60-70 people in the middle of Friday, so that was wild and crazy. Some new faces, new time, and we're doing some game prep, session prep, campaign prep, world building, all that stuff. And then Mark, what's up, Mark? Mini Warlord, we got it. I think I made it through the unfortunate error. Let's go. What's up? So now I think I'm up to date. 323 Tomato Tabletop. And I think and now we're back to the super chat. Whoa, and more. What? Wait, a bunch of super chats. What the heck? Greetings from Hawaii. Was lucky to catch the stream during my vacation. Aloha, dang, a super chat from Hawaii, dude. Aloha, baby. That's what's up. And relaxing and listening to some DC20. Let's go. Wait, Eric Nutter says, here is my early fee. So I think that's a record for a early fee, which is one of the most wild fees. We have a lot of different fees here on this live stream. By the way, they're all completely a joke, and you don't feel like you have obligated. It's all a joke. But the early fee is that's a new one. That's a new one right there. The early fee. Sorry, I was early. Oh man. Any homebrewing tip? Any tips for homebrewing classes for DC20? Firing it off the top real quick is it's really nice to homebrew classes and subclasses for DC20 because every class gets all the same stuff at the same level, right? At level 1, you get class features. At level 2, you get class features and a talent. Level 3, subclass. Level 4, ancestry stuff and a talent. Level 5, class, and then it follows that same pattern. If you haven't noticed the pattern, it goes class, class, subclass, talent, class, subclass, talent, class, subclass, talent. You see the picture, right? So when you're making a class, all you got to do is have a level 1, level 2, level 5, level 8, done, right? Keeping the mind of balance and stuff as far as scaling and everything is concerned. Make sure one feat's not too strong, because in DC20 you can go multi-class and steal one individual feat. So make sure individual feats aren't too strong, individual features, right? And then make sure the class has cool stuff before between levels 1 and 2. You got to give them all their cool fantasy stuff before or at levels 1 and 2, so that you have it there for the subclasses to build off of from there. But there's my 2-second. I could make a whole video on that for sure. Iron Wolf, I got you. And then Hodop, Coach, you got to pay your lore fee since you're late. I'm going to pay your lore fee. Oh, wow. A lore fee. Oh, I see that. Whoa. And then Alfred just with a what up, Coach? What up, Alfred, dude? I want to meet you in real life, man. Are you going to Gen Con? I feel like I would just give you a freaking big old bear hug, man. What up, dude? I just feel like we'd be like, I don't know. I just always so much love. Feel the love, man. Feel the love, for real. Appreciate that. But Hodop's throwing out some things about lore, a lore late fee. We'll see about, how about this? We'll see about the lore late fee at the end of the stream. We'll see if anything comes up with the lore late fee, because we got a bunch of stuff to get into. So I don't want to dive into some lore, but I respect that. I hate being late to stuff, so I feel like I do owe you guys. And I'm just making sure he's still down, because the camera's going back and forth between my 2 kids, and it's really stuck on this one camera for right now. Okay, there he's still down. Okay, cool, we're good. Anyway, so let's get into it. Let me show you guys first of all, let me show you guys where we're at as far as the, let me drag this over here so it's all even. And then, that's the Find Familiar spell. That's not what we're showing you guys. Whoa. Okay, cool. Oh, and there's a little bit of a showcase of the new logo. Let's go ahead and stream through that. And now here we go. Okay. All right. So let me kick it on over here. Here's where we're looking at right now, right? Really, green and purples are good. Green and purples are good, and any of these just have a couple of little tweaks and changes to do. We rewrote this chapter on attributes because we did an attribute overhaul, which is actually some of this announcement that I have to make here in a second. So I just got to check in some rewording of things here. Everything else is green and purple, which is all y'all should care about. Couple of equipment things going on as far as armor is concerned. Conditions are getting updated as far as the verbiage of conditions. One thing this is a super boring fix, but it actually is really nice, is we're codifying what an attack is in DC20. So right now, if I were to say, it boosts attacks, right? You're like, well, what's an attack? An attack is an attack check, which would be an unarmed strike is an attack check. A melee weapon is an attack check. A ranged weapon's an attack check. But wait, a spell attack, if a spell that makes a spell check is attacking defense, that's an attack, but you make a spell check. You don't make an attack check. But the nice thing in DC20 is it's the same number, because your attack check / spell check is the same thing. So in 0.6, there's a new phraseology, a new phrasing of things that's just called an attack. An attack is something that targets an enemy's defense, whether it be physical defense or mental defense. It is either an attack check or a spell check made towards a target's defense. That is an attack. And that's exactly what an attack is. So if you're able to boost your attack, or something boosts an attack, or defense against an attack, you get the idea, right? So it's actually a really clean thing to be able to clean up some things here as far as wording goes. So we can just say, if you make an attack and we know what an attack is, whether it be a spell attack, whether it be instead of having to have a big little mini paragraph about like, if you make an attack check that targets physical defense, an attack check or a spell check that targets physical defense. That's what we used to have to say. So anyway, and then you're gonna, yeah, King, I hear you, King, but you get your attack, so I think you'll be good there, right? And then yeah, and the difference between an attack and an attack check is definitely clear. You'll see it in the update there. So, but here's a big thing: we just hit 100 people. I am gonna do a voting poll at the end of this. I'm not doing a voting poll to see if we should do this or not, because I fully believe that this is the best thing to do, and now DC20 is in the most balanced state it will ever be in. Maybe not will ever be in, it's in the alpha still, but you get the idea. Huge quality of life improvements in an armor update, and the finishing final touches of the attribute overhaul that I talked about a few live streams ago is absolutely huge. So, and then, whoa, I love I don't know if you chose the little emoji of the number 1, Agile Monk, but I appreciate your brother, the deep bow for the master at the top of the hilltop. So what's up, brother, man? It just hit the nostalgia there from Agile Monk. That's what's up. That's awesome. So anyway, DC20 full release will be big, and you are right. We are less than 4 months away. Oh, that's crazy. Three months away. Oh man, it's getting close, y'all. Anyway, so here is the update as far as the attributes are concerned. I am going to do a voting poll at the end of this, but it's to see if you like it. If you're like, oh, it sounds great, yes, or oh no, I'm sad now, right? So it's just going to be a simple voting poll at the end about yay or nay to this new update, because I do want to challenge you here to shake off and have a clean. Oh, I should not do that with my neck. Oh my gosh. Wow, that was dumb. Oh God. Well, that was dumb. Okay. All right. So here is the update. So come in this with an open mind, and here we go. In fact, I actually should probably do this as a video. This should be a video. I should make this announcement because it is a big update. As far as attributes are concerned. So yeah, this is going to be a video for sure. It needs to be a video. Okay, cool. There we go. All right, there we go. All right. So, ooh, let me get hydrated for this one. All right. Whiplash. No, I think I do it because I like crank my neck so hard to see if his eyes are closed. I like literally like crank my neck so hard to see if his eyes are closed. Like I have my ear on my shoulder looking around, and I think I just yank my neck every time I do that. So anyway, what we're talking about? Okay, he's down. We're talking about attribute update for armor and attributes. Okay, here we go. We have a big, huge update for attributes in DC20. The final touches of the attribute overhaul. I did a previous video on that. Will be linked down in the description. This is the finishing touches on that to really bring it up to the perfect spot, and touching on armor. And if you haven't noticed and been up to date with all the stuff with DC20 in the past and right now, there are 2 types of armor in DC20, heavy armor and light armor. And there's an old way of doing things, and I'm about to talk to you about the new way of doing things, which combines an armor update to perfectly balance armor finally, because heavy armor was just king and a bit too much, and we've continued to nerf it to the spot where now, wait a second, we might not need to nerf heavy armor so much because there's a better solution that also touches on attributes. So here is the full update. Back in the day, a little rewind in time, in DC20, your attributes, they have physical attributes and mental attributes. If you don't know, you have might and agility, which are your 2 physical attributes. Intelligence and charisma are your mental attributes. Beautiful. Intelligence, charisma used to deal with mana and how much mana you had, but that's now not the way that they work. They do other cool things that I've already talked about in the previous video. And these were your physical attributes. They both added to health. Keep that in mind, because they no longer both add to health. Might increased your health for every 1 point you put in might. Agility increased your health for every 1 point you put in agility. If you wore light armor, agility was your modifier for light armor. Your formula for light armor was like basically 8 plus a couple of things, one of them being agility, right? So 8 plus agility was your bonus for light armor, and your heavy armor bonus was might based, right? So if you had heavy armor, you wanted might. If you had light armor, you wanted agility, and it was really cut and dry, and both also added to health. but the game's evolved, things have changed, and it was really kind of clunky to just have to choose one of two. And basically how DC20 used to work in the early stages of the alpha and 0.4, we're about to launch 0.6, which is where this is going to be in. And in this, it doesn't make sense anymore, because you used to have to kind of like, oh, pick one of these two and then pick one of these two, and then the other ones didn't really matter anymore. And if you did wear light armor, then you would of course put agility, and you wouldn't care about might at all, because you get health and armor in one stat right here. And if you wanted to wear heavy armor, you didn't care about agility, and you're already right here. So it no longer needs to be this way, and there is a better way to do it. Also, one little bit of flavor thing here is I wanted heavy armor and light armor to feel different. I want a monk dodging attacks to feel different than a big old fighter or warlord sitting in heavy armor and just taking it, right? That I wanted to feel different. So in heavy armor, you have damage reduction, and that's where heavy armor shines. With light armor, it doesn't really have anything at the current state of the game in 0.4, 0.5. But here is, without all of the stages now set for me to say what the update actually is. And I'm super excited for it, because all 4 attributes, I feel like we're in a really good spot, except for agility. I feel like agility is your jump distance. Agility is how much fall damage you take, and you can reduce fall damage by your agility. It has to do with, light armor. It does add to light armor, but the one problem is, if you had heavy armor, you literally did not care about agility at all. If you had heavy armor, you could literally ignore agility. Might was your health, it was your physical defense, it's what calculated everything, right? And agility could just be ignored completely. And then if you were a spellcaster and might gives you health, and agility gives you your defense. So that feels fine and great. So here's what we did. If you aren't aware, is in the last little update video I did, might is the only thing that adds to health now. Agility no longer does. That's a huge, massive nerf to agility as far as what it brings to the table. So in this update, your armor physical defense formula, how you calculate your character's physical defense for everybody, is agility based. So agility, and this does make sense, and in the old school way it was like, oh, everything's mirrors and balanced, of like might is heavy armor, agility is light armor, both give health. Cool, that could work, but there's a better way to do things. And instead of having to choose between one and ignoring the other, I think it's a much more beautiful system, a much more choice-based system, to be able to look at all 4 attributes and be like, which ones do I want? And have actual choices that matter. So agility is now how your physical defense is calculated. The new formula for calculating your physical defense, it also makes things easier, because during character creation, anytime I'd run people through character creation, creating hundreds of characters during all these playtests, I'd be like, okay, so if you were light armor, you have this formula. If you were heavy armor, you have this formula. But now it's so clean. You have a base of 8, so there's the number 8, and you also add your combat mastery, which is half your level, which does add a scaling component to defense, which is really nice. So as you level up, you get a little bit more defensive oriented over time from that little number. But it starts off as just a little +1, so 8 + 1, your base is 9, and then 9 plus agility for everyone is beautiful. 9 plus agility. The more agile and dexterous you are, the better you are able to position your body. Yes, if you're wearing heavy armor, it still matters how you move your body. If you're just sitting there, you might not be able to move quick enough to block something, and they'll actually hit you in a spot where your armor meets, or is a weak spot in your armor, or whatever. So agility and might together, to be able to not only move around in that thick, heavy armor of yours, but agility, dexterously move your body, it does matter. So it is 9 plus agility. Agility is the formula for everyone's defense. Now, I just said your unarmored defense, and it actually works beautifully between all 3. Unarmored, light armor, heavy armor is all the same. It's all beautiful. So right there, if I don't have any armor on, it's 8, because that's just the base defense, +1, that gets to that 9 we talked about, plus my agility, and that is unarmored defense, technically, if I just don't have any armor on, a civilian walking around the streets, whatever. Now, monks and barbarians, they actually add their prime modifier, and that's a whole separate thing. That's unchanged. They get to add a +3 on top of that, because they're super special in that way, right? But let's keep focused on armor now. So unarmored defense is that. Light armor just adds a +1. Novice light armor, your entry light armor, you put it on there, +1. super simple, right? Heavy armor still does add a +2. Oof, okay, interesting. Now, after this update, there still is on the horizon of nerfing that down to 1, so that armor in general adds, armor. If you have armor on, it just adds a +1. And then better armors can go to +2 and 3 and 4 over time, and masterwork crafting stuff and all of those types of things. But then armor would be all on the same level. But the heavy armor, like I already said, has damage reduction. And entry level novice heavy armor has 1 damage reduction, which reduces damage you take from hits, regular hits, not big hits. Regular hits reduces your damage by 1, which is a big deal, and that feels like heavy armor. So now heavy armor can still shine in the way it's supposed to because it has its defense damage reduction stuff, but then agility, aka also light armor stuff, still can shine as well. It's so simple. It's way more simple for new players and it's easier for dungeon masters to say, like, here's what your defense is. It's the same, right? So it's just so beautiful as far as the fix is concerned. And now all 4 attributes I say are dead even. I knew agility, and I said it multiple times. Agility needs some love. Agility needs some love. This is the love, right? So now, if you're playing a character and you want to play a sorcerer or a wizard or something that doesn't really, not in the front lines, and you really want to have whatever, do I want agility or might? That's a genuine choice. It's not an obvious choice anymore. It's a genuine choice. Do I want more health, like in might, or do I want more defense and be able to increase my physical defense? Which one is more important? I don't know. It's up to you to decide. And the mighty boys, the big old beefy might based characters still care about agility. They can't just dump it and take it as a dump stat that they don't care about anymore. It actually matters, right? Because if you do choose might, you're going to need to have a might requirement for heavy armor, especially bigger versions of heavy armor. You want might for health, yeah, and you have your heavy armor, yeah, but your agility is what adds to your physical defense. Now, you still have damage reduction if you do want to tank agility. All right. You can still have a lower agility and have a lower physical defense, and that's maybe okay because you have extra health and damage reduction. So it all fits in perfectly to the big picture. I'm super excited for the release of this, and there are so many things in the 0.6 update. These updates keep getting bigger and bigger, and I really thought they were going to be smaller updates, but the quality of the game just keeps getting so much better. And I want to thank you guys for that, being able to come in, talk on Discord, all the different playtest I've done with a lot of you guys, the patrons that have given a whole bunch of awesome, great feedback, the live streams I've been sharing stuff with. I'm filming this right now in the middle of a live stream to talk about all the different things that are coming and to getting y'all's feedback. And it's been so cool to create this game alongside you guys, and it's going to only keep getting better from here. Kickstarter's launching at June. February, March, April, May, June. June 4th, I think, is the day of the Kickstarter. So June, put it on your calendars, get ready. It's going to be a big time. So stay creative. Think outside the box. Peace. Wow. All right. Wow. Now I need some water. Holy shit. Okay. Woo. Hold up. You're afraid that agility becoming a god stat. It already did physical defense. I didn't add anything to agility. It already did this. You know what I'm saying? Like, agility already did this. And I took away the fact that health comes into it. I think agility is now on par with all of the other attributes. So yeah, and agility saves are nowhere near a thing in DC20 compared to Dungeons and Dragons. Agility saves are huge in Dungeons and Dragons. They are one of the rarer saves in DC20. Your initiative bonus is no longer agility, which is another nerf to agility. So I think agility is absolutely in the perfect spot. So there's that. Whew. Let's see. Wait, hold on. I saw another thing. Wolf said, D&D attributes, which isn't a bad thing. Something feels like D&D with the attributes. What? I love attributes. I always knew when I was going to create a game system, I knew the game system was going to have some sort of base number and then some sort of skill number, right? In DC20, it's attributes plus mastery. In Dungeons and Dragons, it's attributes plus proficiency. So different games do it differently, but I knew that was going to be for sure the way that I wanted to do that. What's happened? There was some chats popping in. Decisive. Decisive throwing down a super chat. Decisive throwing down a $50 super chat during the rant. Let's go. Appreciate you, dude. Appreciate you. Oh man. And then Young Fox, keep up the good work and lore dump. Oh, okay. We'll do a lore dump at the end because we already had. I felt bad for the late fee, and then Hodop planted the seed, and then freaking Young Fox coming in here is watering the seed. All right, we'll do a little bit of some lore situation at the end of the stream for sure. Okay, fine. And then Ted, late fee. Now I hang my head and start from the beginning. I'm just picturing Ted being like. Just listening to the live show. Get your head up, Ted. You're fine. And Admiral Rum with a double late fee. Admiral Rum, I love you, brother. Get out of here. You're a moderator. You're waived from all fees, bro. What are you doing? So what's that DC iPad lighting behind it? DC iPad? What? DC20 iPad? What are you talking about, Swordplay? Was that a DC iPad lighting up behind you? A DC iPad? Oh, this? Oh. Yeah. This is my iPad. This is what I make thumbnails on. That's fine. And run my game on, technically. I set it right here and you get the whole setup. You get the idea. Oh yeah. And here's my this is all I need to run. This is what I run DC20 with. You got my D20s. I got my army of D20s. D4, D68, baby. Let's go. And then anyway, that's a whole, I could start talking about that. Anyway, and then King Hodak, negative charisma, not having any penalty makes it the best dump stat. You lose HP, PD, skill points, all that kind of stuff. But negative charisma has no penalty. I personally think should allow monsters to force to defend against saves. Yeah. So there's definitely some things in 0.7 that I'll be looking at for charisma, negative charisma type of things. There's some things on my radar that I have some ideas for. I don't want it to turn into like Dungeon Master versus players. Like, I gotcha, and I now roll a disadvantage. Haha, I gotcha, Ooh, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we'll see how that kicks in. And then, cool. There is the big picture. So now let's start the Q&A. So questions, hashtag question, ask your questions, and let's get it on and popping and see what's going down. Let me grab, wait, moderators. Oh yeah, we got 2 moderators in here. We're good to go. And then, oh, you know what? Hold up. You reminded me. As soon as I have any sort of things for that, Hold Up keeps winning. Hold Up's here every single time in every live stream we ever do. And they keep winning stuff. So I got to keep finding things. I will send you some early stuff, dude. And let me see what you think about that, specifically on the thing that you were just talking about. So heck yeah. How many versions before the Kickstarter? I don't know. Right. I for sure want to get 0.7 out as well. I for sure want to get 0.7 out as well. I want to have the subclasses out for sure. Because 0.7 brings 2 new levels. It doubles the level cap in DC20. Because right now the level cap is level 2, unless you just want to kind of give people talents and stuff. So at level, I want 0.7, you'll be able to get to level 4 in DC20. So you'll go from 2 to 4. So for sure 0.7, 100% is what I want to say to that. I want to lock that in. But there's that. So if you have a question, ask hashtag question, and my moderators will snag it up and snag it and bag it, and we'll go from there. Where are we at today, though? Today, okay, questions. I'm here for questions. We got it. Okay, cool. And then Wolves is picking them up. Nice. And then, cancels grit used on you. That's interesting, Charlie Wolf. I'm gonna write that. I'm gonna write that one down. Negative charisma. Adds a buffer before you can even get get grit points used on you. Wow. Ouch. I wrote down ouch. And then whoa, Coral. What? Coral, loving the progress so far. Any ideas on 0.6 release date? I'm trying to organize a one-shot for March, and I'm wondering if it'll be available by the end of the month. By the end of the month? Whew, end of the month is tomorrow? Or no, 2 days from now. So Coral with $100 super chat asking a question. I do not do this. You guys know I do not. I learned my lesson the hard way. I do not say release dates and stuff like that, but I will say as close of a guess to a release date for 0.6 as I possibly can right now. I'm going to think this out loud too as I look at a calendar. So 27th, tomorrow I'm going to be able to probably finish the halfway through Bard, and not halfway. The Bard's really close to being halfway through what's left. So whatever's left of Bard's like 80-90% done. Whatever's left of Bard, that's what I mean by half and then half. So half of Bard and a third of the rest. Friday will be the rest of Bard and another third of the rest. So then next week, Monday, will be the rest of that. Pass through feedback 8. I would say that 0.6 will be done on the 8th. And if it's done on the 8th, that means it probably will get in you guys' hands around the 15th. There's that. That's what I can throw down, and that's what I can try and give you right there. So if I could say March 15th is going to be my estimate for when the PDF is done, right? Not the, it'll be done before then, but then that's the PDF is done. And if Mark can crank out the PDF faster, who knows if it can go, you know what I'm saying? So, and if I can crank out some stuff faster, then, we'll see. So we're about 2 weeks away, really. So that's huge. There you go. I got you, Coral. Appreciate the super chat, dude. Oh my gosh. Right. All right. So, let's get into these questions, y'all. Let's get into these questions. So, gosh, it feels like it's been a while since we did questions. Last week we did a interview type, chit chat, right? So a soft March 15th. Yeah, soft March 15th. Liam, Beastborn's done. Beastborn's actually in a 6th spot. I'll put the Beastborn. Remind me in the patron. Every Wednesday morning I do patron only live streams, and I do game development stuff of the game live or whatever. Remind me there. And I'll make a post to the Metallic Dragons to get the early access to the Beastborn. The Beastborn is essentially done. There's a few more things that a few traits here and there, but overall done. Kyle Graham had a good idea for negative charisma. Grand Old Dwarf is super chatting someone else's idea that they saw in the chat. That's legit. That's what's up. Reducing your starting help dice. Oh, interesting. D8 for +0, D6, and D4. Oh, ouch. Ouch, that hurts. Reduce starting help dice size, right? So in general, I'll just tell you guys that my game design head on both of these is negative charisma, adding a buffer before you can get grit, meaning if you had a -1 grit, that means you have to get a grit point given to you and it's wasted and it doesn't count to be able to receive another one. Oof. That I feel like feels bad because then it de-incentivizes other players to help that person, even if it makes absolute sense for someone to want to spend a resource. Like somebody else chose to have charisma and you're now stepping on their toes because you have low charisma and they can't play the game and they can't use a mechanic on you because of you. So that feels bad, right? Now it's a solid idea, and it's at least it's something I hadn't thought of yet, so that's why I wrote it down. And then reducing the help dice size. Mathematically, help action is balanced at the number it is. So if you do take a loss there, now your help action becomes trash, and then you probably are de-incentivized to use your help action, which then feels bad. And it also feels bad for the person you're helping, not you. Again, spreading the feel bads to other players, not yourself. So it's punishing the person you're helping more than it's punishing you, So you know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't like the reducing the help dice size, because if your help dice is what helps others and you just can't help them as good, that feels bad, and it's just constantly going to happen multiple times, that even if it makes absolute sense for you to be very helpful in this moment, if it's something physical based or something, you know what I'm saying? So that's a rough spot there, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely things to think about though. Love that. And then cool. All right. Reduce the size you receive, Sambros. That is an issue. Reduce starting help dice size you give out. Or reduce the size you receive. Oh, interesting. Good. Who said that? Who the Sambros? Good. That's an interesting thought there, right? And then, power hungry. There we go. You saved. Help. Thanks for the reminder, right? All right. So, first question. Here we go. ancestry names, something born. They are just placeholders, or they'll be actual names. This is a question from Orman. Orman, they are 100% placeholders. So every ancestry, and I think this should be true in the game as well, like in lore, in canon, the scientific name essentially for every ancestry would be something born. Like they're human born, elf born, halfling born, orc born. Like that's just gonna be what you are, right? Lizard born, dragonborn. That's gonna be a name, right? That's gonna be a name, right? It's just like the scientific, very clean, like not fantasy based. It's just like a scientist would be like, blah, 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 blah. If you had this and this and this, you know what I'm saying? It would just be something born. So that's just gonna be like the scientific name, if you want to call it that, right? Done. But there are going to be like sick ass cool fantasy names for them, like Asimar, Tiefling, you know, etc. Right? So yes, that is for sure going to be a thing. But I can very easily tell you the ancestry of the pirate captain, the pirate Tom Cruise, the pirate captain of Bastion Bay is a dragon-born turtle, a dragon turtle born. So that is super cool. To be able to just be like, oh, it's a dragon turtle born, and you know what I'm saying. I don't have to be like, ooh, it's you know what I'm saying. It's just so it's just an easy way to do that, right? I think of the is it low charisma now lowers your grit amount, if that helps, or is your grit amount? Oh, interesting. Reduce the amount of bonus from crit dice. I don't know. A disadvantage. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. So yeah, there you go, Orman. Arcane Cipher question: what caster did you have the hardest time giving their own specific casting identity or style? Arcane Cipher, dude, this is the type of stuff. These are the questions I wish I got like at a convention. This feels great on my neck. Oh my gosh, this feels great right here. What can I do the rest of the stream from here? Can I do the rest of the stream? This might be the move. Hold up 1 second. I'm gonna adjust my seat. It's already forward as much as I can. Okay, what if I do this? All right, what if I do this? Okay, all right, I can sure try. All right, here we go. If somebody joins the stream late, they're gonna be like, what is this guy? Is he freaking, I don't know. Anyway, neck pillow. All right, this is wonderful. All right, what was I saying? I'm gonna have to scroll this up to the high part of the screen. Okay. Spellcasting identity styles. I love these type of questions. I could talk about these for forever. In general, I try not to talk about them in live streams as much because not everybody likes game design type of thoughts. But to give each spellcaster their casting identity style, honestly, it wasn't that hard. And I'm not saying that in a cocky way. It's just I wanted to really see the class fantasy of these things so much. And I can even kind of blaze through it right now. Like a wizard has arcane runes and sigils that they put on the ground. That was a little bit difficult because that's not in D&D, right? D&D, they just have a spell book. And in D&D, almost everyone feels the same, essentially. That you just have a spell list, and that's that's it, right? But I wanted everyone to feel different. And for the wizard, having them put runes on the floor, that's freaking sick. And they're like, yeah, and that came pretty quickly and easily. And then sorcerer pushing themselves to the limits. In fact, I'd even say, to give Purius some props here, I think Purius had the idea for runes on the floor for the wizard. And then I talked a lot with my friend. He's one of the players at my table. He plays he sits in the back corner over there. He plays the monk in the campaign I'm running right now. He had some cool ideas, and me and him just kind of talked about like what would they be like? What would classes feel like, right? So Jason has some cool ideas there too. But Jason had a great idea for the cleric. That was Jason's idea, was the cleric of being able to pray to reach out to your god to be able to buff your spells. That's super sick, super class fantasy of cleric. Paladin was easy. A sorcerer is my baby. I love sorcerer class. So overload and pushing yourself to the limit and like spell cert, all this kind of stuff, like that is. So I love the sorcerer. That was an instant for me for sorcerer. Bard was really cool, and Bard was a later addition, and the magical performance was a later thing that kicked in, and it was just an idea that came to me as one of my favorite, like, wait a second, and it was just a really cool thing. I think it might have in some ways it happened on stream too, where y'all saw me kind of going through and whittling down things and being like, oh my god, a Bard's magical performance, which I actually don't know if I've said this before. Bards in DC20, they have something called a magical performance, and they can spend action points and mana points or whatever to start a performance. Now, what performance you start is based on what kind of bard you are. You could start singing. You could start playing the music. You could start dancing. You could start telling a story. You could start rap battling. Whatever you want to do, you start performing. And your magical performance has different versions of itself and different songs, different playlists, different dance moves, whatever you want to call it. And you can gain an aura of buffs that you can shift between. One of them is increase everyone's allies movement speed by 1. One of them's a defensive one that reduces damage, and one of them's an offensive one that gives advantage and stuff. So it's like the bard is performing, and they're constantly performing. It requires concentration. They got to keep it going. Right now in Pathfinder, they have to pay some sort of tax where you already have 3 action points and the bard like spends something. And I did not know that the bard worked like this way. And when I was like, oh my God, it's going to be like a monk with stances. It's like a bard stances, and they play a performance, and they can change the song based on how they, what they want. So if it's more defensive, they would be singing a song of like it's super cool how it can tie into role play. So love the bard. Druid was super fun, super cool. And with the druid, I went my own direction, Purius went his own direction, and turns out we landed in the same direction, and we dove down that direction. So the druid can create their own grove. They can wild shape into different animals. So the druid feels great. The warlock just got finished today. The warlock can spend health. They can spend health to amplify their magics. They get a pact, and they get some sick pact options. There's 4 different pact options you can pick between, and they're all really strong and really completely change how the warlock works, and it gives you the flavor of what kind of pact you made in the first place. So the warlock feels great and has that whole health vibe to it. They can spend their own health as mana in some instances. And then what spellcaster am I missing? I feel bad. What spellcaster am I missing? I already said cleric. I already said sorcerer. Oh, Scion. Scion was an obvious tie-in, and Scion was super easy to make feel unique because it's a freaking Scion, like telekinesis and telepathy, and then mind, mind blast, getting in someone's mind, like that type of stuff. Super easy across the board for that. So yeah, it's super cool. And then I see people talking about all the so the Elementalist, Jeffrey. The Elementalist is basically Avatar. The Elementalist is Avatar. The 2-second version of my ideas for where the Elementalist is going to be is there are 4 elements, right? Literally like Avatar: air, earth, fire, water, right? There's 4 elements, and the Elementalist gets to pick one at level 1 to start off with. Just like a fighter picks a fighting style, rangers pick a favorite terrain, monks pick a fighting style, whatever. You pick one at level 1. So you would pick, let's say you pick earth or whatever. So boom, you picked earth. Awesome, cool. At level 2, you get to pick another one. Which one are you going to pick? Interesting. You pick one. Cool. And then some things change, some extra stuff. You get some extra bonuses, and then you can shift between 2 different states. You have an element, like you have a different elemental stances you can shift between, right? And then I am also thinking about some things about, like, depending on the element pairings, you can have, like, if you chose fire and earth, that would be lava. If you chose air and fire, that would be lightning. If you see what I'm saying? If you chose air and earth, that would be like sand, and like you get the idea. There's some interesting things there. At level 5, they would pick a 3rd element, and at level 8, they would master all elements, right? So I think it's a cool thing because each elementalist, depending on the order, would be different and stuff too. So I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, there's a little thing on elementalist, right? But anyway, man, this feels great on my neck right now. This feels great on my neck. It's a great call. So next question, Sir Bike has a question. Like how marshals need might or agility score requirements to wield some weapons. Will casters have some spells that require them to meet charisma or intelligence to cast them? Sir Bike, the answer to that is essentially no. I'm trying to I'm not trying to shoot that down, but I don't think that would be a boon to the game. I don't think that would be like, oh yeah, that this is fun. Like, I can't pick this spell because I don't have high, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want, in the same way, in the same exact reason that I changed, and it feels so much better now to have your mana total not be, because your mana used to be derived from your intelligence or charisma, whichever was higher. That was the amount of bonus mana you got. And that literally forced spellcasters to have one of those two be high. and then they could do something else, right? When it's not fair, it's not, it feels bad, right? Meanwhile, marshals can do all these different things. The one thing I will say for your question, though, Sir Bike, is agility score requirements are being removed from all weapons apart from ranged weapons. That's the ranged weapons with the ammo property are the only weapons that are going to have an agility requirement anymore. The agility requirements are being removed for the rest of that. There is still a heavy weapon requirement as far as a certain amount of might, but that is just game balance reasons and all those other types of things. And I think the one thing that you're not thinking about, Sir Bike, just from a game big picture perspective, is weapons are not what the mirror of what spells are, right? Techniques are to spells as spells are to, you know what I'm saying? Like techniques and spells are the same. So techniques don't have a certain requirement based on might or agility and all this stuff, just like spells don't have that requirement, right? So techniques and spells are the same. Maneuvers and cantrips are the same. So marshals having a weapon is like a spellcaster having a cantrip. And cantrips don't require certain levels of, you know what I'm saying? So that would be my answer to that question. I hope that makes sense with all those different layers that I just broke down there. Nico324, are there plans for other armor modifications? As they currently stand, they mostly bridge the gap to make armor feel like heavy armor and make heavy armor feel like light armor. So ultimately, the light armor feeling like heavy armor and heavy armor feeling like light armor, it's armor. So in some ways they're going to feel the same because they are armor, right? Heavy armor feels different because it has physical defense, like physical damage reduction. So heavy armor has physical damage reduction, light armor does not. And that's as simple as that. And I don't, and to take it one step farther, there are heavy armor modifications and there are light armor modifications, which are two different things, and you can further make them feel how you want to feel on that, and they have different modifications for that. So make sure you check that in the equipment section as well. And I think that feels fine. I think that feels like it's in a great spot as far as that goes, right? And I think they feel fine and great and okay as far as the spot that they're in right now, right? And then Malzor, I see the question there. Will stones, tabs, or staves or whatever have enter charisma requirements? Then y'all keep making interesting attempts to pair these things. When there's not really pairings, you don't make an attack with a staff. You don't make an attack with a tome. You know what I'm saying? And as far as your spell casting of where your spell casting is coming from, it's based on prime. So you swing your weapon with your prime. You swing your sword with your prime. You cast your spells with your prime. The whole purpose of prime is that. I don't have an agenda to force spellcasters to make them have to have intelligence or charisma. You have to. Weapons wielders, you have to have you know what I'm saying? The reason why they're on certain weapons is for game balance reasons, why those weapons are strong, right? Regular weapons have no requirements on them. Ranged weapons with ammo properties have an agility requirement of 1, which is very easy to meet that requirement. Heavy weapons, like big time heavy weapons that are huge, massive, and the biggest damage dealing weapons in the game, yes, they have a might requirement, right? Now, there is not a spellcaster equivalent to that apart from cantrips, like spell attacking cantrips, firebolt, frostbolt, sacred bolt, those bolt type of cantrips. That would be the synonymous counterpoint. And I think it sounds a little weird to think that they should have intelligence or charisma requirements to be able to cast certain cantrips. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that that's needed. This thing y'all are talking about, right? And then yeah, so there we go. And what else we got here? Lagging out. Wait, I'm lagging? Oh, am I lagging or you're lagging? I hope I'm not lagging. And then cool. All right, back to it. Back to the questions and back to some water. I stopped laying back. I got you, Malzor. I'm just gonna stay right here. And try and have some good posture. Louise. Question, can you spend 4 AP to cast 2 spells in a turn with disadvantage? 100% you can. 100%. That's the whole beautiful point of it, right? So you have 4 action points. Most spells cost 2 action points, and then you can cast another spell and it just has disadvantage. Done. There is no weird lame holdover from D&D of like, well, you can only cast 1 spell in turn. There for the only reasons of game balance. Yeah, sorry, that's why. right? But the stacking disadvantage already lets you be able to do that. Is it going to be less efficient for your mana points per spell cast? Yeah, it's not as efficient, but it's definitely a way to do it, right? And then Jack, we're already in overtime, but technically I was late, so we're gonna keep going for a couple more questions here. I'm gonna go to the line. There's a little line on my screen right here. I'm gonna go to that one, right? Iron Wolf has a question for Elementalist. If you can pick up the same element on level up, like stay water but get stronger with water. That's interesting. That's interesting. You know what? I'm gonna go to classes. I'm gonna go to Elementalist. And I'm going to say maybe have an option to stay within your element and only do that element. Question marks. This would then therefore mean you have to add bonuses to certain combos of elements together. Which that ties into what we also said before, other stuff. All right, cool. The lore fee, 100%. I got you on the lore fee. Wow. The super chat and the chat is talking about the lore fee. Okay, yeah, I'll pay the lore fee. Okay. So let me at least answer this question. Jakku, what is your current opinion of the Giantborn balance-wise? Currently, it feels a bit too good on my might character. Perhaps it's not a bad thing. Oh yeah. So side note on Giantborn. It's funny you asked that, Jakku. Giantborn has been nerfed. The Giantborn has an extremely tough, ancestry trait is being changed to tough. That's the only nerf for Giantborn. I did not like having, it was not intended. I did not think it would work like this. I titled it Tough is plus 1 HP and Extremely Tough is plus 2 HP. And then people were picking both and being able to like, I'm Giantborn and Dwarfborn or whatever. That was not the intent. Nope. It was going to be one of the two, but then y'all tried to break the game. So bloop, Extremely Tough is now gone. So Giantborn are going to have a +1 option. Yes, for health. But other than that, I mean, Giantborn are feeling the way. And there also is going to be some clarification on powerful build. Some people are using powerful build in a way that's unintended, but I completely understand it as far as that goes. Two of my player characters actually have powerful build in my campaign. Powerful build, I'll say it here. Powerful build gives you advantage on grappling checks versus smaller creatures and stuff, but it does not give them disadvantage against you. That would be way too strong. If you are both 2 medium creatures, and if you have powerful build, you have advantage against them and they have disadvantage against you. That's too much. That's not it, right? So I'm going to make sure that's more clear and it's going to be phrased better, right? I missed Artificer when talking about casters. Because Artificer, nice try, Galaxy. I see what you did there. Artificer is not done yet, and I don't want to talk about the Artificer. Artificer is going to be a 0.8 situation, and we'll see if it makes it into the, if it comes out before the freaking Kickstarter. So yeah. And then Joe N with another super chat. I know it didn't fit the system as of now, but did you ever consider an action economy like Divinity Original Sin where you could back action points to limit for bigger turns? Oh yeah, that was one of the initial, like when action points were first talked about. I tried that type of thing. It just feels bad. It feels bad from an action tracking standpoint. It feels bad from like a what if standpoint of the things I want to avoid is like, I'm going to make this sacrifice now. Oh, but then the combat ends. Shoot, this sucked, right? Or having to like hold on to points to be able to all that kind of stuff. So I know what you're talking about. I think I know what you're talking about. And I experimented with all that different type of stuff for like certain turns being bigger and saving points for later and spending points now and then losing points later and all that kind of stuff. And it's just all ended up creating bad scenarios. So yeah. And then what else? I got Joe M. And then Admiral Rum. Everyone keep breaking the game and then reporting it. One of my players that made the barbarian, he literally was like, I think he had like 15 health and that was the most you could possibly have. And I was like, yeah, that's too much. So barbarians only get 1 hit point at level 1 now. Another cool little update is a little sneak peek here. All marshals. I've reworked how much health every class gets at every level. I made a huge spreadsheet of what every class gets at every level and balanced it all out, mathed it all out, ranked them all, and all that kind of stuff. Barbarian still gets the most. The Barbarian is the only class that gets 1 health every single level. They get 10 health from levels 1 to 10. They're the only one that gets 10 health. They get +1, +1, +1, +1, +1 all the way down. They're the only ones, right? Fighters and warlords and there's one more. Fighter, warlord, somebody else get +1. Paladin get +1 health, or sorry, get 8 health total across levels 1 through 10, and so on and so on. But it ends up working out on purpose to where all martial characters get +1 health at level 1, and all spellcaster characters get +0 at level 1. And it works out nice for character creation, nice for creating characters and knowing stuff. It's very intuitive, and it actually works out really nicely. So there's that. And then, we forget, there's super chats coming in at the last, at the down on the wire here. If Grit has a base of 3, then we don't need any funny rules for negative grit. What? If Grit has a base of 3, then we don't need any funny rules for negative grit. Oh, you're saying you start off with a certain amount of grit and then you add your charisma to it. That's interesting. Start with a base grit of 2 and then add charisma to it. That's interesting. You're an adventurer. Yeah, that's interesting, right? I'm gonna put that in a different color here. That's interesting. So, okay, I'm going to get through the super chats and then I'll do the lore situation, right? And then base hero 3, Wheeler with a $50 super chat. Would love to see the silly barbarian rage feature replaced by something more immersive that puts in a berserker state, like a Mechanicus rage, like eating psychedelic mushrooms, eating certain animal blood, etc., with different results. So Wheeler, I got you, Wheeler. So here's one thing with the all of the features that have the parentheses flavor. Every single feature at level 1, every single class at level 1 gets a flavor feature. All of them and every class that ever will be released for DC20 will have a level 1 flavor feature. And it's purposefully designed to be, and I quote, silly little feature, right? Like what Wheeler said, right? It's meant to be that way. It's meant to be very niche, very role play based. And that's it, right? It tips the hat to the flavor of the class, and I think it does a great job across the board. The wizard gets a spell book, the rogue gets thieves' cant. Rangers even get a bestiary to be able to kind of log and track beasts in an interesting, unique way. Paladins get divine sense. Clerics can literally pray to their god, right? Reach out to them and try and talk to them. So, I think Barbarian's in an okay spot. I mean, I think the Barbarian, you said something more immersive that puts them in a berserker state, eating some sort of thing. Like, that seems like more of a combat thing. It seems like less of a role play thing. And I think the Barbarian already hits and checks all the boxes of like, rah! But I also kind of don't want to put them in a box of raw. Like, I want to really iterate on rage, and rage could be you being possessed. Rage could be you transforming. Rage could be magic is fusing through your body or whatever, right? Like growing inside. Like rage can be so much more than just anger or berserking and all that kind of stuff, right? Sure, there's gonna be a subclass for it, right? But yeah. So anyway. I think there's the flavor features each have their place as purposefully being in that pocket of this like silly little features that are just never involved with combat. So many times where people on the team are like, oh, they propose different flavor features. If it had to do with combat, it's a no, right? You can't have to do with combat. It is purely a flavor feature. So that's one purposeful game mechanic there. So maybe that makes a little bit more sense for you, Wheeler, but I see what you're saying about the flavor of Barbarian that you want. But if anything, that just sounds like it's easy flavor thing that you could add to a character. Like if a character wanted to have some sort of psychedelic mushrooms that have some weird different effects and stuff. I've done stuff like that for player characters that have some interesting background thoughts in the first place. One of my player characters has an interesting background nugget where everyone in their family, like the specific lineage of sorcerer they are, like each of their family members has one special unique power that has nothing to do with like the shadow magic they all have. They all have shadow magic, but like they each get one random gift of a power. So like his dad can bend earth and stuff. His mother, secret that I can't say on stream. His sister can like heal with shadows, which is like illusion healing, which is temporary healing that then goes away after a period of time. And his secret, his power is unknown. He's trying to figure it out, right? So that seems like a cool sorcerer thing, but that seems like a more of a campaign character dependent type of situation. So I hope that makes sense. Bringing it up. So I think we're talking about the lore dump. And then Artificer Fund to speed up its release. Tabletop Phoenix is putting money into the Artificer vending machine to try and speed up its release. That's so funny. Okay, so here's how this is gonna go. So the first of all, oh my gosh, wow, we are 40 away from the halfway goal. The halfway goal is giving away a seat at the table. So we're gonna be doing a bunch of giveaways right now. So in the chat right now, what would be a cool thing to say in the chat right now? Say your favorite type of dragon. I just that popped into my head. I think that'd be a cool thing. So as long as you've said something in the last 5 minutes, Nightbot will know that you're here. But I would probably say something right now because we have so many giveaways to go through. It's probably going to take 10 minutes to go through all the giveaways. But here's how the giveaways are looking. We got 3 giveaways we're doing just because we're doing a live stream, baby. And we've been missed. Nightbot was drunk in a ditch for the last 3 weeks, and we got some work to do. Or 2 weeks. This being the 3rd week, he's back now. I revived him. So I am going to. Oh wait, I think I missed the super chat from this wall of. Team Odd. Oh my God. Admiral coming in with 2 different super chats trying to keep it odd over here. Team Odd is strong. Rakdos Gaming, super excited for 0.6 and the Beastborn. Artificer Fund. Keep the great work. I appreciate it, Rakdos. Oh, and then Odd. Oh, this the Odd team. The Odd gang's winning, y'all. The Odd team is strong. We got 3 giveaways for a copy of DC20's Alpha and all future updates to the Alpha, including the new 0.6 that's coming out soon. And then we hit the 250 mark, so that's another giveaway. And if we hit another spot here, that would be the 5th giveaway for the spot. But right now we got 4. So I'm going to do 4 giveaways here. And then we'll see about the last one, and we'll do the lore drop. Okay. And I'm going to ask you guys this question. We're going to do the first one. So winner, here's the first one. Here's the first one. Winner is the winner is King Hodop. What? Oh my gosh. That's insane. Y'all, I wonder. Oh my gosh, that's insane. Freaking Hodop always wins. That's so nuts. I need a message that 13 worlds long. It includes a dragon. This 13 words long and includes a dragon. Oh, 13. Whoa. Wow. That's impressive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So William Slaughter just sent a super chat of $13.13 that had 13 words in it. I feel like I should just pass out and the stream should end at this point. And you have a beholder as an image, so that's even crazier. And Admiral Rum pushing it through the finish line. So there's that 5th giveaway. We'll do the 5th giveaway after the lore drop, right? So we got King Hodop. I am going to say that that's rigged. And I'm going to do another giveaway, and King Hodop will just continue to get more and more things. So yes, I am going to declare that my own Nightbot that I just revived is rigged, and I'm not counting that one, but I am counting it for you, Hodop. We'll talk again. I'm just going to share the master document with Hodop. I feel like is what I have to do at this point, like the actual master document that only me and Purius can see. I just need to share that with Hodop. I think that's probably what the universe is telling me. Freaking Nightbot. All right, so we still have 5 giveaways now. We're gonna do 4 of them. I'm gonna do a lore drop, and then we'll do the 5th one, right? I just want to know what I should do the lore dump about. Just a little lore sneak peek here, right? In fact, you know what? I'm gonna ask this. Hodop, if you could ask one lore question, what would your lore question be? Or if you already know something about the lore and you just want me to share that with everybody, you can say that one too. Hold up at the dungeon coach me so that I can see it though, because there's a lot of things running through here. Galaxy Fox Night Sky, let's go. Oh, Galaxy Fox Night Sky says goblin lore. Okay, I'll write that down. Goblin lore. How about that? I can even do that with a thing. Some dragon lore, Alcander specific. I can't give you Alcander. That's a hard no on that one. Dragon lore. I see where this might be going. How about that? Each person that wins the giveaway, I'll ask them what kind of lore would they want to know. What category of lore would they want to know about the world of DC20's campaign setting, and then we'll go from there. So another giveaway. So Galaxy Fox Night Sky. If anybody wins, message one of my moderators. They will get you hooked up, set up, and I'm giving away a copy of the DC20 Alpha, but if you already have the Alpha, your reward upgrades to a shopping spree on the website, and whatever you're wanting on the website, whether that be Alcander's Almanac, whether that be future stuff, or if you're like, no, just give me early access DC20 stuff, we can give early access DC20 stuff too. So Admiral Rum, Admiral Rum is a team member, so this also does not count, but I do give him a bonus. So I'm gonna write down a bonus. He gets a bonus to his paycheck to Admiral. So Admiral, you just want yourself some cash, because Admiral has access to every single PDF I've ever made. So I can't give him anything except a bonus, baby. So there we go. And we still have three. So I'm trying to give away 5 things. Hodop wins, doesn't count. Admiral Rum wins, doesn't count. I'm giving them other rewards. We did have Galaxy Fox Night Sky, so let's keep going through this thing. We still have some more here. Let me try and see if we can even ever get through this. So exclamation point. Oh, Admiral Rum, what do you want to know for lore? Put it in the development fund. And then no. Admiral says he doesn't want it. He doesn't want it. That's funny. Too bad. So winner. You do still, Admiral, you do still have to choose what kind of lore you'd want to know about DC20, and we'll see what kind of what comes in here, right? Iron Wolf, boom. Iron Wolf, let's go. Even though I think we have 2, we have Lone Wolf, we have an Iron Wolf. We have lots of wolves in the chat. We have wolves, Charlie Wolf. We have, I think, like 5 wolves. It's insane. So heck yeah. And then cool. And Iron Wolf, yay, cool. Iron Wolf, say what kind of thing you want, right? Wolf pack tactics. They do have pack tactics. Winner. So that's we got Wolf, we got Iron Wolf, and we have Galaxy Fox Night Sky. Cool, that's 2. Let's see if we can get another one here. Winner. Uh-oh, where's Nightbot? Where'd Nightbot go? Did he die? Did he pass out? Me next? Wait, winner. Exclamation point, winner. Hello? Nightbot went to sleep? Winner. Oh, no. He died? Oh, and the winner is, he's back up. Victor Hughes. I wonder, oh, it's a timeout situation. There's a certain time window that I can't, I have to wait for. So I probably just did it too fast. So Victor, there you go, Victor. Let's go, Victor. And if you win, reach out to, how do you ping? Go to Discord and type @ and then find one of the moderators. Their names are in red, and you'll be able to ping one of them, send them a message, or just find one time that any of the people's names in red have talked, and you'll be good there too. So there's 3. We had a winner. And the last giveaway we're doing is the seat at the table, playing a one-shot with me of DC20. So then, and the winner is Bob Vecna. Bob Vecna. Nice. See, I think every single name so far has been a familiar name, so that's what's up. So Bob Vecna, let's go. You gotta say whatever lore you want, and I might see if that influences where I go with the lore dump, the lore tax I have to pay. And then that is 4 giveaways, and now I am saving up for this final 5th giveaway. Which actually, you know, I might as well do that right now. I'm gonna do it right now. There's no reason to drag that out. Everybody's talking. I don't have people have to talk again, right? And then I'll pay the lore tax. So I'm doing the final winner. This winner gets a copy of DC20 Alpha, all that kind of stuff. Yes, yes, yes. But also gets a seat at the table. Reach out. Moderators, make sure to track this person's name specifically because I need the email and get in contact to see set up times and stuff for a DC20 one shot with me. So here we go. We haven't had one of these in a while. Also, by the way, so I just want to say thank you guys. I just want to stop and say thank you guys. I'm not trying to like drag this out and troll you guys, but genuinely thank you guys. We haven't hit one of these milestones in a while, so it is nice to hit that, and also to have people come in and be able to join the amount of people, because with only 4 people, it's hard to schedule them and stuff. So here we go. Big winner. This is the one. This is the big one. This is the big one. This is the big one. Nightbot, focus up. Nightbot, focus up. And the winner is Bob Vecna. What? Oh, man. Oh, what's up, dude? I'm so sick that sucks. DJ1I, what's up, dude? Coming in out of nowhere. That's funny. That's funny. Rigged. Bob again. Yep, Bob. So Bob, there you go. I am everywhere, baby. We're doing another giveaway. I am going to say that Bob does win that one. So the old giveaway that Bob just won, I'm going to give away Bob's. So y'all get a leftover copy of DC20. Technically, that's impossible because it's the digital reward, but you just know that this was Bob's DC20, and then now you get it. So it is going to have Bob's name on the. I'm just kidding. So last giveaway here for the double rigged giveaway. This one is a regular copy. Bob Vecna gets a seat at the table for DC20. He won that. He earned that one twice technically. And there we go. And then. Extra seats, that's the biggest thing I give away is a seat at the table to play. So no Nightbot again. Hello, Nightbot. Nightbot, wake up. Wake up, Nightbot. He timed out, and the winner is, there we go. Freaking Nightbot. Wolves of the Night. There we go. That's what's up. Wolves of the Night. I'll take that one. Hey, Wolves, you get a freaking whole shopping spree, whatever you want, all that kind of stuff, man. You're all set. You're good. I got you. Mark Fugrate won. What? Wait, what do you mean Mark Fagate? What do you mean Mark Fagate won? What? I'm so confused. What does he mean? What does he mean, y'all? What does he mean, Wolf? Wolf, let's go. He subscribed. He gets swag. Who subscribed? What? Wolfgang. It was out of order. At some point, Night went rogue and picked a whole extra winner. Oh, did he pick a winner? Did he pick a winner? Oh. I think the winner went out fairly... Wait, Nightbot's gone crazy? All right, so... Okay, so either way, we're going to have Wolves be a winner, and whoever Wolves said that also won. Fugwe, Mark Fugwe or whatever that name was. So that they'll also win. Just another, there we go. Yeah, Mark, there we go. I see you, Mark. Mark Fagate, you also win. There we go. So we did give out another giveaway. There's 6 giveaways, even though it's really was like 10 giveaways because I kept hitting the wrong people or doubling people or just HODOPs and staff members and all these other things, right? So there we go. Boom, done. Awesome. So now y'all asked me for a lore dump, and I'm going to give y'all a little bit of a lore dump situation, okay? I'm going to give y'all a little bit of a lore dump situation. All right, here we go. Okay, I see Joe M. I see. Thank you for clearing that up for me. Freaking Nightbot, right? Okay, so I'm going to go out on a limb on this one, guys. Okay, I'm going to tell y'all some stuff, and it might blow your minds. Okay, or it might open your minds, is what this might be. All right. So here is the lore drop for orcs, goblins, dark elves, aka drow, Duragar, Snabeflins, or whatever those deep gnomes people are. All of them. and I'll do Dragonborn too. I'll do two things. Okay, I'll do two things here. So this is going to be a big one. All right. So interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Here we go. All right. Here we go. In fact. Y'all see, okay, I was about to say just the first ones, just the goblin ones, but I see so many things about dragons right now. We'll go ahead and say this too. So here we go. Here is the lore of the cursed races. Ooh, wait a second. Cursed races? What's going on? So in DC20, each ancestry has a divine deity that they come from, essentially, right? I'm still keeping some things like that vague, but there is an elf deity, right? And this deity is who's responsible for the ability for the world to be populated with elves, right? It's an elven deity, and the elven deity has, elves are made in their image, and each sect of people, each ancestry is made in the image of their god, right? So the elves are made in the image of the elf god who looks like an elf, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Gnomes, halflings, and let's just say the core races. And I'm going to say this is a little bit of I have to really reveal this kind of, but this one isn't really that big of a reveal. But there's a core race. The core races are obviously human, elf, dwarf, halfling, gnome. Those are the 5 core races. And this can also apply to other races as well, but we're going to talk about just these 5, right? The cursed, we'll talk about the cursed races. No. Nico, I see y'all's brains going here, right? So stay with me. We'll talk about dragons next. Right now, I'm going to be talking about the cursed races. So these are the 5 core races, right? And each has a deity that's made in their image. There's a human god, an elf god, a dwarf god, all this kind of stuff. And they all have their different stuff. That's why they have certain different powers. That's why they have certain different unique tweaks and magical stuff going on, okay? So then there was one god that was born with no people. There's this god had no, it didn't, there's something went wrong whenever this god was born. Every deity that's created has a plane of existence and a people, a plane and a people. Every deity. The elf god has a people of elves and a plane of, yet to be disclosed. I am not going to talk about that. There's planes of existence wrap around. Each god has their own plane that is their plane of existence and their group of people, the elves, humans, dwarves, gnomes, whatever, right? You get the idea. But there was one god that was born with a plane, but without a people. And this god was sad ultimately. Like all of his other siblings, all of his other, all these gods, let's just say they're all brothers and sisters and stuff. All of his siblings had these people. They all had people. They all had this mortal races created in their image, but they had none. They made them upset. They made them angry. They didn't have a people. They didn't have a group to worship them. They didn't have anyone created in their image. They were the only gods in the entire pantheon, we'll say for now, that didn't have a people. So how does he get his own people but twist, corrupt, and curse other ancestries, other races that are already in existence, and curse them, twist them, and add a pinch of darkness in some way to them? Now, what I'm about to say, this is the deity doing this. This does not then therefore ripple through the entirety of the races I'm about to say, and all of these races are now inherently evil and they're always bad and everyone hates them. It's nothing like that. No, there is some messed up stuff that this angry god did to create cursed races. And that what that means, stay with me here, an orc is a cursed human. Whoa, stay with me. An orc is a cursed human. There's a little bit of inspiration coming from Lord of the Rings, where Uruk-hai or orcs in Lord of the Rings come from elves, and they take elves, and there's this nasty ritual that's done to elves to turn them into orcs. So stay with me on that. But a orc came from a human that was touched in this way, cursed in this way by this god, and corrupted and turned into an orc. And elves turned into dark elves, aka drow in D&D. Elves turned into dark elves, and dwarves turned into Duragar. And then I'm going to also say this, and this is the part that you'll either maybe hate or maybe love. I love it. I think it's crazy. Stay with me. What do you think? I'm going to ask the chat here too. What do you think gnomes turned into? What do gnomes turn into? Right? I see Ormond's on a close track here, and or they're close, but yes, gnomes turn into goblins. Gnomes are goblins. And wait a second, if you think about goblins and gnomes, that makes so much freaking sense. Y'all are seeing it now. It makes so much sense. Goblins love, or gnomes love tinkering and creating. And so goblins love to tinker and create and make traps and rig things. And and it is just a little bit crazed, a little bit darker, a little bit twisted version of each of these other races. I saw another question asked, what about giants? Giant-born that become cursed turn into ogres, ogre-born, right? So humans turn to orcs, giants turn into ogres, right? So you have these ogre-born. That's where ogres come from. You get the idea, right? So I see the questions already. What about halflings? And I see Nico and some other people talking about kobolds. We'll talk about kobolds when we get to dragons here. So halflings. People are asking about halflings. So what does a halfling turn into? So if you think about it, it takes what they're good at or what they do and it amplifies it in a darker way, right? And if you also look at the ancestries of the orc has a cursed ancestry 0-point trait, and some of the other ancestry traits that it has will now allude to the things I'm saying. For halflings, I have created a new race that's exclusive to DC20. The name of it's going to sound familiar, and some of the things might interest you in being able to play one and stuff. But halflings are connected to animals. They have they're a little hairier than usual. They got the furry feet and stuff. They got a little bit more hair and stuff. They have, they love nature. They're connected with animals, right? And if you don't know this, dwarves are connected to the earth and mountains and rocks and caves and stuff. Elves are connected to plants and things having to do with nature. Gnomes are connected to things having to do with like weather and lightning and other things like that. And that's why they're good at also tinkering, is because of electricity and things like that. And halflings are connected to animals. That's like each one is connected to an element of nature, if I haven't said that before already. And you can see this in their ancestor traits as well, right? Earth, plants, animals, weather, right? All of those things, right? So William's getting close here. And Eric, I see what y'all are saying. So halflings expand in a dark way with their connection towards animals, and halflings become a bit more animalistic whenever they have been cursed, and their cursed version is a gremlin, right? So goblins are gnomes and gremlins come from halflings. Halflings are, just imagine them getting more hairy, almost sometimes running on all four legs, but they can stand up, they're fine. They're a little bit crazed, and they're just a gremlin. They're a little bit more wild. They're like a hairy goblin, you could say, almost like a small bugbear, almost like a tiny bugbear. But then if you have a tiny bugbear and you have a giant born gremlin, that's a bugbear. Whoa, interesting, right? So there's a little stop there. Bestial halflings. Yeah. Gremlin Newman. I love it. So to finish this off now with dragons, I am not going to get into the origin of dragons or the origin of giants. They have the dragons and giants in DC20's lore are two of the first big things to happen, and they are in opposition to each other, etc. They were created to protect and things, but then things went south and stuff. Dragons were introduced to the world originally to try and protect the world, but then different dragons had different agendas and things went a little south. But dragons weave themselves into the world. Dragons became part of the world, right? Sculpted and changed the world for forever, intermingling and mixing and matching with certain creatures, right? So you have draconic versions of certain creatures. You're going to have bark dragons and swamp dragons and dragon turtles. You see what I'm saying? Dragon turtles come from dragons and turtles. You see what I'm saying? And draconic versions of creatures. We did in the dragon thing we did for a 5e supplement of dragons. There's like this wolf dragon that's super sick. It's like this hairy flying wolf dragon. It's super sick. It's like from a fjord, like a Viking type situation. It's super cool, right? So dragons weave themselves and blend themselves into the world, right? So, where do Dragonborn come from? Where do these draconic... What happens to some of these races, and you already started thinking about kobolds, and you're on the right track there. So I'll start off with dragons. Dragonborn come from humans that have intermixed in some way and bred throughout however long of a history of lineage with dragons, right? And that's shouldn't be a surprise. Dragonborn, half human, half dragon. That's not crazy. That's not surprising, right? So Dragonborn come from humans. Simple enough. And a Dragonborn in DC20, it's not going to be called a Dragonborn. It's going to have a name, just like all the other born things are called, right? So Dragonborn in DC20, whatever their names are going to be, Dragonborn have tails, but they do not have wings. They're Dragonborn. They do not have wings, but they have tails, right? And then the elves version, whatever elf. I'm going to call this. Oh my god, I have a name for it. It's the Draconis or Drake Draken. Is that what it is? There's going to be a name for them. But elf versions of dragons are Dragonborn with wings and tails. So that's the species, the type of humanoid Dragonborns that also have wings and tails is the elf slant, right? Elves plus dragon are a bit more magical, a bit more draconic in nature. So they have wings and tails. Oh my gosh. So you know kind of where things came from. And then let's go the opposite direction. What about dwarf? Dwarf plus dragon is going to be I think I've called it a draken. And they are stocky, no tail, no wings, stocky, yoked out dragon folk. They're almost like not turtles, right? They don't have shells or anything like that, but they are just stocky, shorter, strong dragons with no wings and no tail, right? Now, of course, you can kind of, make it what you want and do whatever kind of stuff like that, right? But they still have Dracon, they still have a breath weapon, they still have all that kind of stuff, right? And then we keep going down the line, and we're going to skip over Halfling because they are just the more unique one that kind of lets us play in a little space that's kind of fun and like new and unique. But what do you think? You get one guess that what a gnome is. Gnome becomes cursed and tainted and corrupted in this way from this god type story I've told, becomes a goblin. A gnome, yes, y'all see it. A gnome with a pinch of dragon in him becomes a kobold, right? Ankylosaurus, I love that. My son would love that too. My 3-year-old loves dinosaurs. So yes, that's where your kobold comes from, is a gnome plus dragon, right? And you get the idea. And this can also spread across anything and everything. So what this Dragonborn, this is a little bit of a sneak peek here. The orc template right now, it says orc, but it's not going to always say orc. It's going to eventually say accursed in some way or whatever. And there will be an orc, and you still can play an orc and all that kind of stuff. But there's going to be a way for you to be able to play these other races, and it's going to be a much more a simple and streamlined way to be like, oh, I want to play this, then you would just do this and that, right? And then dragons is going to be the same way with like the different types of choices and options that you have to make a draconic version of something, and you can mix and match and stuff like that, right? So there's the big lore dump. I was late, and the stream's now gone even later, but I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. We hit a stream goal, and I was late, and I got you guys. So there's a little bit of that, right? And then, so what's the difference between a dragonborn with no wings and a lizard man besides the breath weapon? Essentially nothing. Your lineage is what the difference would be. Someone that comes from a dragon is going to have some much more lore implications, social implications and stuff. And then, there's the breath weapon. So the difference between a dragonborn and a lizard folk in D&D. My question to you, Power Hungry, was what answer that question to D&D? A lizard folk and a dragonborn. What's the difference besides their breath weapon? Nothing, right? And then wings are always a freaking cool thing. And then that's also the beauty of DC20's ancestry system, is you can mix and match and create things however you want. And if you like the lore of the things, you want to do this certain thing, cool. If you want to have wings, freaking have wings. Spin the points, spin your ancestry traits, and have some wings, right? And then the game is complete when you get a ton of dope lore dumps. Yeah, that's what's up. What's the Dragonborn Halfling? The Dragonborn Halfling is going to be a similar animalistic version of a halfling. I'm purposely not locking that one in. I do like the gremlin, and I'm excited for the gremlin. The dragon version of the halfling, I want to kind of hold off on for a little bit. I almost picture them being almost like a Mushu from Mulan is kind of where my head's at, like a bit more draconic. Like literally, you're almost a dragon. Like you're a small dragon is what I am picturing for the halfling because of their animal slant. I almost want to dive into that freaking animal slant, right? Vanderhob, oh god. And then just be a bit more they're literally a little dragon, right? Is what that would be, right? A pseudo dragon almost, right? So yeah. Old school dog like kobold. Oh gosh. That's funny. So anyway, that is the stream, you guys. It was a big one. It was an epic stream. Thank you guys. That was so much fun. Wild giveaways, wild announcement at the beginning, wild lore dump at the end, and a whole bunch of craziness in the middle. You guys are awesome. I look forward to these every week. And I'm going to end the stream and go work on some DC20 stuff and try and knock out some things to keep speeding this thing up so we can hit that 15th. I got to hit the 15th now. God dang it. I said the 15th, so now I got to hit it. So later, guys. Stay creative. Oh, I'm going to hit this. I'm going to hit this with, oh no, I don't have the hands. Okay, I'm going to have my mouse here. I'm going to sip water, as I say. Stay creative and think outside the box.